The king of the Greek gods of Olympus had one fatal weakness. Not just for him, but for everyone involved. Was it his constant fighting with Hades and Poseidon, or his troubled relationship with his Titan father? Nope. Zeus just couldn't resist the ladies. So many of his children from these affairs are part of every major legend in Greek mythology. But were these women lucky to be with him? Not at all. Let's look at the tragic stories of Zeus's lovers. First, the story of Leda and the Swan is the most tragic and the most famous one. W.B. Yeats even wrote a poem about her. But who was she? And why do we look at her story as proof of Zeus's terrible behavior? In the ancient kingdom of Sparta, there lived a mortal woman named Leda. She was the beloved wife of Tyndareus, the mighty king. What made her special? You guessed it. Leda was known far and wide for her beauty, her grace, and her gentle spirit. One fateful day, as Leda was wandering near the banks of a tranquil stream, she encountered a magnificent sight, a stunning swan gliding gracefully across the water. But little did she know, this was no ordinary bird. It was Zeus himself, the powerful Greek god in disguise. You see, Zeus had taken the form of the swan to escape the wrath of a fierce raptor. And as fate would have it, he crossed paths with Leda, captivated by her radiant presence. In a moment of divine desire, Zeus approached Leda, and they shared a secret tryst. Wait, didn't he? Yeah, some versions of the story mention Zeus being forceful with her, and the encounter being not entirely voluntary. Despite her affair, Leda remained faithful to her husband, Tyndareus, and she found herself with child not once, but twice. Legends vary on whether the eggs were one or two, but what's certain is that they held the seeds of destiny. Now you might be wondering, how did Leda and her children escape the wrath of Hera, Zeus's jealous wife? We have no idea. Maybe Hera never even noticed. What's even more surprising is that even her children escaped unscathed. But one of her children was also Helen of Troy, a figure of unparalleled beauty who was at the center of the Trojan War. Next, we've got a Libyan queen who suffered the most because of her affair with the god of thunder. Lamia was a queen of Libya, known for her striking beauty and her unfortunate entanglement with the gods. Lamia's story began with a forbidden love affair with none other than Zeus, the mighty ruler of Olympus. Now, Zeus, being the notorious philanderer that he was, couldn't resist the allure of Lamia's beauty. Despite her mortal status, Lamia bore several children with the king of gods. But alas, their happiness was short-lived, for Zeus's jealous wife Hera unleashed her wrath upon Lamia and her offspring. Some say Hera's fury knew no bounds. She struck down every single child Lamia bore, leaving the grieving queen to wander in despair. In darker versions of the tale, Hera's vengeance took an even more sinister turn, forcing Lamia to commit unspeakable acts. As grief consumed her, Lamia descended into madness, retreating into the darkness of a desolate cave. There, under the cloak of night, she became a fearsome creature, a twisted remnant of her former self. Legend has it that Lamia emerged from her lair to stalk the shadows, driven by an insatiable hunger for the flesh of innocent children. Over time, Lamia's once beautiful visage warped into something grotesque and monstrous, a haunting reminder of the price of divine dalliances. Mothers would whisper tales of her wretched existence to their children, using her name to instill fear and obedience. But amidst the tragedy and horror, there was a glimmer of mercy. Zeus, perhaps feeling a pang of remorse for his role in Lamia's downfall, bestowed upon her a peculiar gift: removable eyes that allowed her brief respite from her torment, yet served as a constant reminder of her cursed existence. Yeah, the only lesson to take here is that getting involved with Zeus was never the best idea. But wait, Was killing his dad Zeus's only involvement with the Titans? Nope, not at all. Here's another descendant of the Titans that Zeus made miserable. Leto, the goddess of motherhood, plus Apollo and Artemis. She was no ordinary deity. Leto hailed from the noble lineage of the Titans, the predecessors of the mighty Olympian gods. Wait, weren't all the Greek gods descended from the Titans? Well, technically yes, but some of them were direct descendants and others were more like grandchildren. Now, Leto's story took a crazy turn when she caught the eye of none other than Zeus, the powerful ruler of Olympus. Their love sparked a divine romance, but as often happens in the realm of gods, trouble was never far behind. When Leto discovered she was carrying Zeus's children, what do you think happened next? Did they live happily ever after? Of course not. The jealous wrath of Hera, Zeus's wife, descended upon her. Hera's fury knew no bounds, and she banished Leto from the lofty heights of Mount Olympus, cursing her to roam the earth in perpetual exile. But Hera's malice didn't end there. And wait, before we find out what she did next, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to be safe from the wrath of Hera. Anyway, she sent forth the Python, a fearsome monster born of the earth itself, to hunt down Leto and ensure she found no refuge among mortals. Terrified of incurring Hera's wrath, the people turned their backs on Leto, leaving her to wander alone. Yet, amidst the chaos and despair, a glimmer of hope emerged. Guided by Zeus's hand, Leto found sanctuary on a floating island called Delos. Here, surrounded by the gentle embrace of the sea, Leto prepared to bring forth her divine children into the world. But Hera, ever relentless in her vendetta, sought to thwart Leto's plans at every turn. She shrouded Delos in a thick veil of clouds, obscuring the light of the goddess of childbirth and casting a shadow over Leto's birthing sanctuary. Despite Hera's best efforts, Leto's determination and the divine protection of Zeus prevailed. With a mighty effort, Leto ushered forth her twin children, Artemis, the fierce huntress, and Apollo, the radiant god of the sun. So it was a pretty brutal journey with some positive outcomes. Finally, we've got one lover who managed to escape Hera's gaze unscathed, Europa. In the ancient Phoenician city of Tyre, there lived a princess named Europa. Now, Europa wasn't just any princess. She was the epitome of beauty and grace, the ideal Greek woman of her time. One fateful day, Europa and her friends decided to take a stroll on the beach, soaking in the sun and enjoying the sea breeze. Little did they know their day would take an unexpected turn. Suddenly, amidst a herd of cattle, appeared a magnificent white bull, its presence commanding attention. Not a big deal, right? No, this was no ordinary bull. It was Zeus, the mighty Greek god in disguise. Yeah, he had a thing for taking on different disguises. As the girls approached, drawn by the bull's gentle demeanor, Europa found herself drawn closer and closer until she was atop its back. And then, without warning, the bull charged into the ocean, carrying Europa away from the shore and towards the unknown. Terrified yet unable to resist, Europa clung to the bull as it swam with unparalleled strength to the island of Crete. What do you think happened next? Well, Zeus revealed his true form and took Europa as his own. But unlike many other tales of Zeus's conquests, Europa's story took a different turn. She bore him 3 sons, who would go on to become mighty kings in their own right. One of them, Minos, ruled over the grand palace of Knossos in Crete. And so, despite her initial fear and uncertainty, Europa found herself blessed by Zeus. Her sons prospered, and her name echoed through the ages, immortalized as the namesake of a continent. But wait, if you want to learn more about what Zeus's many children got up to, check out this next video on Perseus and Medusa.